Hello to my Flamazing Franklin Academy artist, and welcome to Art with Miss P. I am already in my studio, ready to begin today's project. So let's make sure you're ready. Make sure you've got your white paper, your pencil, and your eraser. And then of course, whatever you're going to use to finish your project off. It can be crayons, markers, color pencils, paints, whatever you have at home. If you need a Sharpie, go ahead and get that. And then of course, make sure you've got some blotter paper to put under your work so your Sharpie won't bleed through on the table. So I am going to set these things aside until we are ready for them. And here is today's lesson. We are going to draw a butterfly garden. So we're going to have lots of grasses, lots of different kinds of flowers, and of course, butterflies. So this is what we're going to draw today. So let's get your pencil. Turn your paper horizontal. We want it to be horizontal so we have plenty of space. All right, as you saw in the example right here, we have lots of foliage. So we're going to draw lots of grasses today, but we're also going to draw lots of flowers too. Now, I also did a very short video on how to draw all these different flowers and how to draw the butterfly. So if you need to look at that first, go ahead and do that, or you can look at it later, whatever you want. It's there for you if you need it. I'm not going to go over how to draw a butterfly or flowers in this video. So if you need that, make sure you refer back to the other video. So the first thing we're going to draw is we're going to come in and draw some grass, and then we're going to incorporate our flowers into this grass. All right, so starting down here in the bottom corner, we're just going to draw a couple of blades of grass. I'm going to start one right here like this, kind of tall and skinny, and then I'm going to put some other blades of grass around it. I'm going to let that one run off the page, and they can go whatever direction you want them to go. I'm going to put some short ones down here, maybe another short one going right there. All right, now that I've got a few blades of grass, let's incorporate some flowers in. So I'm going to do a flower right here. Now, you can do whatever kind of flower you want to draw right here. You can do what I do, or you can do your own flower. Completely up to you. And where you put these flowers in your drawing, again, is totally up to you. So I've got this flower drawn. So now I am going to draw my flower stem, which is 2 parallel lines. And of course, coming off of my flower stem will be a couple of leaves, just like that. All right, so moving back here, I am going to put a tall blade of grass going behind my flower. So I'm going to get some overlapping right here. If I were to draw this line through my flower, I would have to erase to get my overlapping right. So why draw a line that you know you're going to erase? So when I get to my flower, I'm going to stop that line, skip over it, pretend that line goes behind the flower, and then pick it back up right here. So it looks like this tall blade of grass goes behind my flower. All right, I want another blade going this way just to add some different direction in there, because I've got 2 things going this way. So I'm going to come in right here, and I'm going to draw a blade of grass going right back here. And I've got my overlapping, and I need to fix that a little bit because I drew inside there. So I've got my overlapping. So now I've got some different grasses going different directions. All right, continuing to move across, let's come in and I think I'm going to put a flower right down here. Because if you look at flowers that grow wild, you've got tall ones, you've got short ones, and they also go different directions. So I've got this one kind of curving that way, so I'm going to make this one go that way right there. And then I'm going to put a tulip in. So I think I'll put a tulip right here. So I'm going to change what kind of flower I'm drawing. And there's my tulip, and I'm going to put it on a long stem and do the leaves for a tulip, which is very different than the leaves for my flowers. I think I'm going to let this one overlap that flower stem in front like that. So let me fix that a little bit more. All right. So now we're going to add some more blades of grass behind here. So I'm going to come in with some grass down here like this. Now you can put your grass wherever you want to put it. It's up to you. You don't have to do it exactly like I do, but you're more than welcome to do it like I do it or do it your way. I'll leave that up to you. And I'm going to put a blade of grass right behind here and coming down. Let's see, this blade, that'll disappear behind that flower stem. All right, so coming back over here, I am going to put a flower right here, and I'm going to make this flower look like this. So there's that flower, and we're going to draw a tall stem. And I think I'll let that stem go in front of that blade of grass. So that means I've got to fix my overlapping right here. Now you'll find with this drawing, because you have so many things going different directions, you're going to have to really pay attention to your overlapping. And you want to make sure that you get your overlapping correct. Otherwise, it's not going to look right and you might not be happy with it. I'm going to let this leaf overlap those blades of grass. So I need to erase everything inside my leaf right there to get the overlapping right. Okay, so there we go. We've got that overlapping right there now. All right, so moving on, we need to have some leaves back here, or tall blades of grass back here. So I'm going to have a blade go behind there. I think I'm going to have another one right here, and we'll have it disappear behind that flower. Let's get some more flowers over here. I'm going to put some more tulips in right here. I think I'm going to do 2 tulips right here, and then do 1 right here. And get my stems on. And I'm going to let this stem overlap and go behind that. Okay, so there's 2 tulips, and then I'm going to put another flower right here, and I'm going to make this one kind of look maybe like a daisy type flower, and then come back in and put the little petals that go behind these main petals right here. So we've got that, and have my flower stem maybe run off the page like that. And then we're going to add a few more blades of grass back here to give some greenery behind it. I'm going to let this blade of grass disappear behind there, and I'm just going to draw the tips of grass right there, and maybe 1 more blade right here as it disappears behind that plants. So like I said, friends, you can have as many flowers as you want in here, totally up to you. And I think I might put a flower right here just to break it up some. I think I'll do another flower like this, so that I'm going to let this overlap. So that means I'm going to have to do some erasing to get my overlapping right. But I just feel like that's just going to be a big clump of green right there. And maybe if I come in with a flower, it'll add some color right there. So anytime you look at your drawing and you decide you want to put in another object, you can. Remember, we're doing this in pencil. So I drew light, so I can easily erase my pencil lines to get my overlapping right. We always draw light until it's right, because light lines are so much easier to erase than dark lines. And so there's that flower, and we're going to put a flower stem right here. Erase this to get my overlapping right, and I will just see the top tip of that leaf coming off that flower stem. So now I've got some color right there. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in a horizon line. So I'm going to come back here. Now, you know, because I've already taught you in art class, a horizon line goes across your paper, and it lets us know where the ground and the sky meet. So I'm going to come right back here, and I'm going to put a horizon line. Now, I want my horizon line to go behind my grass and my leaves and my flower. So I'm not going to draw this line through my leaves or my flowers. So there's my horizon line back there. So I know everything below that horizon line is going to be green for the green grass, and everything above it is going to be for the blue sky. All right, so the last thing we need to put in is our butterflies. Now I have one butterfly sitting on a blade of grass, and I have one flying through the air. You can put as many butterflies as you want to put in. I'm going to draw one like this and draw one like this, but you can draw as many as you want. All right, to draw the one that sits on a blade of grass, so not quite touching the blade of grass, but just a little bit over, I'm going to draw the head, and I'm going to do this butterfly body. Kind of almost looks like a snowman. This is the head and this is the body. So we're going to have some little feet that come off like that right there, sitting on the blade of grass. We're going to have some antennas that come off his head. And then 2 wings. Up to you how you draw your wings. Remember, I did a video on how to draw butterflies and showed you a couple of different ways. So you decide how you want your wings. But the wings need to attach to the body, not the head. So make sure they attach to the body right here. So I'm going to draw one wing like that. Kind of looks like a heart. And I'm going to draw the other wing kind of the same way, like that. Now, my wings are not attached. I don't like the way that looks, so I'm going to change that really quick. Bring this in and bring that in, so it looks like the 2 wings touch. Now remember, your patterns need to be simple. Do not do any, I'm going to change something right here while I talk. Do not do any complicated patterns. You want to have simple patterns. Now, I do not have to make these 2 wings symmetrical because these are on the same side of the body. If this butterfly was open and we could see both wings, there would be a wing that would be symmetrical to this, and then a bottom wing that would be symmetrical to this. But because the butterfly's wings are closed like this, we only see one side of the butterfly. So there's that butterfly sitting on the blade of grass. So let's draw one flying through the air. So here's the head and here's the body. Now remember, butterfly wings are symmetrical, and we're going to see both the left and the right wing. So what you do on one side, you've got to do on the other. So for this, I'm going to do a butterfly wing like this, which means I've got to do the same thing right over here. Here is my antennas, and I'm going to put a big dot right there, so I got to do the same thing right there. Then I'm going to put an oval, half oval right there, and a half oval right there. Over here, I'm going to make a shape like this, so that means I have to make a shape like this. These 2 wings don't have to match, but if they do, it's okay. But the left and the right wing has to match in order for it to stay symmetrical. Now you can add as many butterflies as you want to add in here. You can even put other things like bumblebees because they are buzzing around right now. You can add a sun up here in the sky. You can add some white clouds. It is completely up to you. But this is the drawing. So once you finish everything, if you want to do Sharpie, of course, remember, you would get your blotter paper out to put your drawing on to do Sharpie. So if it bleeds through the paper, it'll hit your blotter paper and not your table. And then, of course, you can finish it off with whatever you want to color with. Going back to mine, I chose to do markers and crayons. Down here in my grass, you will see I used 3 different colors of green. I used green, the yellow green, which is also called iguana green, and then I used a blue green back here. So I did a mixture of greens. For back here, I took a crayon and colored in between my blades of grass. And of course, I used a crayon up here in my sky, and I used markers and crayons on my butterflies. The reason I did crayon is because I could get different tones. With a marker, I can't get lights and darks. You get the one color. But with crayons, you can change the pressure and you can make it dark, or you can color lightly by just changing the pressure. So having some green in the background that's a different tone than the markers kind of gives it some nice change and some depth. The same thing in the sky. It just gives it a different tone. So you got some nice contrast in there. So friends, this is your butterfly garden for this week's project. I look forward to seeing what you guys decide to do and have fun coloring and make it super colorful, because this is the time of year where flowers and butterflies are showing their colors. Until next time, peace, love, and sparkles.